Hello, Shannon Grimm here with Mike Stanley, and we are glad you joined us today. We're with Howard Hanna, and we're joined today by Eric Anderson, and he took his sunglasses off of his head.
Where's Eric Anderson from?
Buckeye State Bank.
But I never see him without his sunglasses on his head, so I'm like, oh yeah.
This is true.
I took them off. I want to represent.
They're like in a prime spot.
You want to have the headphones actually sit on your head properly?
But Eric is one of the key guys at Buckeye State Bank.
Oh.
So, and we've known him for a very long time. He has gotten saved my butt on more than one occasion when the other loan officer failed me. So I appreciated that.
Sadly, yeah.
Unfortunately, that was a bad situation. So I don't like when I refer people to someone and they do what he did. So
goes downhill.
Yeah.
And yeah, because I used him for years, and then things got bad. So anyhow, shit happens. But Eric has always been someone we could trust and count on.
Well, that's kind of you. That's kind of you. Thank you.
Yeah. But what's all going on? So you were telling us some little tidbits about one of your son's girlfriends.
Oh,
we're skipping right to personal here.
Right to personal, because we were just talking about this. So it's kind of a cool little story.
I've got 3 sons. One's getting married in October. My middle son is dating a young lady named Madeline Fisher. She owns a company called Madeline's, which is a gluten-free, vegan-friendly bakery in Granville. And she sells these products to various businesses and farmers markets, and she's doing great. And it's a neat story for her. Then my youngest son is in Italy somewhere today, so
he's just somewhere.
Very cool little cookie company there. She's now transporting across state lines.
Yep,
so.
She's selling cookies to
really
New York, and it's a great product for folks that enjoy that type of or have that need for gluten-free, and it's vegan-friendly for those who are chasing those kind of products, and it just allows them to have a good product that's tough to find. They're out there, but they're not as good as this stuff.
Yeah, the gluten-free is really big right now.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is, if they've just been piling us full of gluten for years and now everybody's having an adverse reaction.
Yeah, it's because they pump it full of chemicals when they make the flour. That's really what it is. So everything's way healthier with the gluten-free because it's all actually not pumped full of chemicals.
Speaking of Italy, things taste different over there because it's not full of chemicals.
Probably. Well, I'm not a spokesperson for Madeline's, just that I support. I'm proud of her and all the work she's done, and they're at the Powell and the Worthington Farmers Markets and stuff like that, so you can find it. Mr.
And you're also a big supporter of the Powell Chamber of Commerce.
I'm on the board for the Powell Chamber of Commerce, and I actually have a meeting today because I'm on the board for the Delaware County Historical Society.
Oh, very cool.
So, a lot of fun stuff.
Stay busy.
Yeah.
I feel like you have more meeting stuff outside of the bank than what you used to at the previous bank.
It's work avoidance. Yeah.
Okay.
I got a meeting. I got to go to the chamber event. Or I got to go. We do a lot of ribbon cutting and stuff. It is. Work. But it's meeting people, getting to know folks. People, I'm flattered because people seek me out and saying, "Hey, I had a question. I'm going with I have another bank, but they're doing this to me," and they just seek out and they want some advice because I've been doing it for a while, and I can say, you got a good deal. There's nothing we can do, or maybe they can do a better job here. So I enjoy being in the market so that people can maybe get answers to questions that they don't want to Google or wait for AI to come up with an answer. So.
Right. Well, and I would assume that AI isn't always accurate.
No.
Not at all.
Since we know how accurate certain websites are, I assume.
I've tried to use it. I do utilize AI, but I tried to use the Google search engine AI and test it, and I was Googling some things I needed for my car, and I knew what I needed, and I was like, oh, it's, this year Toyota 4Runner, I need this, can you give me the part number? Can you give me what fluid I need? And it was wrong, I think, all but one time out of 8 that I checked, and I was like, excellent.
Well, one of the things you get is they will Google things, and I've had people Google and call me back or whatever, and I've always told folks, when we get done talking, especially to a couple, I'm like, we're done talking, you're going to drive home, or we're going to hang up on the call, and you're going to sit there and start having a private conversation. You're going to come up with questions that you didn't think about during our time together. And you're going to come up with your own reality. Just call or text me back, and we can answer it, because when you do the Google searches, every borrower is different, every property is different, their credit, their income, the history. So there's always going to be an exception to some type of question that they've Googled. So if you can find somebody with experience that can answer and say, well, based on your story, here's really what reality is, specific to your scenario. And that's the trick on the lending side is if it's a yes, it needs to be a yes to completion unless something comes up outside your control. If it's no, get that no as quick as possible.
Yeah.
And then figure out how to make it a yes. You know, it's not if you're going to buy a home, it's when. So in that scenario, if it's a no, we know why it's a no, but let's do these things. And 6 months from now, guess what? You're going to be able to buy a home. We had to face some challenging or frustrating things, but at least we faced it. We got a path, we got a course of action, get it done. And I have a lot of those conversations because not everybody that applies for a loan gets one immediately.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, and you've always been very helpful. So I've had people that have come to you for a second opinion, or you've gone up against a builder, and the builder unfortunately usually wins, but at least you're still giving good sound advice regardless of whether or not you're going to end up with.
Yeah, I'm waiting for the first opinion.
Yeah. Well, I think you were the first opinion, but then they found the builder too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean, that happens. So the builder offers stuff because they throw money at stuff at high down rates that you can't always do.
Well, just as you mentioned the builders, because kind of the stuff we were going to talk about maybe is lots in construction, but I'm seeing a lot more of the builders, even the high-end builders that were doing more spec homes on their lots. We're starting to see more of them branch out on build on your land. Because they're trying to find ways to move inventory. So you don't have to buy on that. You don't have to build on that builder's lot as much as you used to. You know, subdivisions are different, but the builders are buying up subdivisions, and now they're saying, listen, you know, if you've got a lot, we will go out. So many counties from Columbus or wherever, they're not going to build in Marietta from Columbus, but if you're building on your own land, there's a lot more, I think, more opportunities from the custom home builder side now.
Yeah, like 3Pillar is always kind of done on your lot product, and they'll go about an hour. It just depends on which way.
That's a great product.
But they're really good at doing that. They've got a good process for that and a good head of construction. So.
But if someone's looking for land, you know.
We do land all the time.
There's a great lender right here that's amazing with land. There's a couple of good agents over here that are great at finding land, and we have connections with builders you could talk to after the fact, but that would be your man for the loan for the land right there.
We see a lot of that because our bank, I always say our global campus, we're a community bank headquartered in Powell. We're right on the south edge of Delaware County. And when you're in Dublin, North Columbus, South Delaware, that's where you're seeing a lot more land purchases. Yeah. People are, you're not landlocked like downtown Columbus or inside the Beltway. So we're seeing more people explore land purchases, either to build in the near term or to be a placeholder where they're going to retire and build in 5 years.
Yeah.
But they always say they're not making any more dirt, so you want to kind of plant your flag. And then there's advantages of buying land and sitting on it for a period of time. But we're just seeing more of that, just part of it because that's the market we're in, and there's a lot of vacant land where I'm at. So there's opportunity.
If you haven't been by the Buckeye State Bank branch in Powell, stop by. It's gorgeous. It's a beautiful bank. They love to throw events there. I've been to a bourbon tasting there. He always talks about avoiding work. Work's pretty great every time I come there. There's food trucks in the parking lot for some events. They're giving out coffee or ice cream or Schmitz, sausages.
I use my back scratcher almost every day.
Well, we did that one bourbon at the bank last fall for Powell Chamber Men in Business. We had over 80 people show up, and the Chamber never had an event like that, I think.
Bourbon.
It's bourbon attached to anything, and people show up. And I would make a plug for Gretchen 80 East. That's the speakeasy in Powell. She did the bourbon tasting and kind of gave samples and kind of explained what you were tasting and those kind of things. So it was a great evening. But again, we do like to highlight the bank and because we're a community bank. The bank, we always say, bank local, shop local, keep the money within the community. The big box banks, they do similar stuff that we do as far as services. But that money's going out of city, it's going out of state, it's going somewhere else. So it's just, community banking is a great place to go, and we have more options as far as those big box banks may not do lot loans. Or they may not do constructions, and if they do them, they oftentimes don't do them well.
No, do not do them well.
There's some things you got to keep an eye out for. So a lot of my lot buyers, it's a lot purchase transaction, but we're really focusing on how do I convert this into a construction experience down the road, and making sure that the land that they're buying will be worth it and desirable for a house on the future. Just because you bought dirt doesn't mean it's the best thing to do. So and having a lot of those counseling conversations and then letting them decide what's best for them.
Yeah.
I love it.
And then, so you guys also bought another building too. So you guys are expanding. You've taking over some little houses.
Yeah, we bought
taking over one city at a time.
Just about. We bought a bank up in Perrysburg, and
I just ignore it.
well, I like the background vocals. In 19, we bought a bank in Perrysburg, and then 3 years ago, we bought a bank in Upper Arlington, Grandview. 2 years ago, we bought a bank in Chillicothe, Bainbridge. And then back in March, we bought a vacated bank branch on North Hamilton Road over by Gahanna, New Albany area. So for us, that's a placeholder because we're not going to open up or put anybody in it until probably Q2 of 26. So again, it was a good deal, good location, good price. You buy it, plant your flag, and then we'll renovate it. But as a bank or any business, you want to be on the going home side of the road. So we are on the east side of Hamilton Road. The theory being is if you're on your way home, you'll just turn right and dip into someplace. You don't want to go through the light, turn left, then get back in the light. So you always want to be on the going home side of the road, east side of 23.
It makes sense though. It makes sense.
So commercial lending, that's one of those little things that sometimes businesses will look for, that what side of the road is it? Because, you want it to be convenient, and people are usually running any errands after work.
Make it right, make it right. That's genius. That's actually, wow.
I never really thought about that.
I mean,
we might need to end now. That's the best information I got.
That's incredible. That's incredible.
So
So you're doing construction and perm loans.
Yep.
And what does the process look like for that?
If we start with somebody that's got their own land, we get a lot of those. We're starting to actually get some barn dominium requests, and which are neat because 2-3 years ago there were not enough comparable sales, and banks, including us, were kind of standoffish because it's based on the desirability, the likelihood of resale of that property. An A-frame is not going to sell in Dublin. It sells in Hocking Hills, but it's not going to sell in Dublin. So the desirability, now there's been so many sales that they're desirable. But if someone's got their own land and or they think someday they want to buy land, we'll sit down and talk about budget, how big the loan's going to be, have they picked out a builder, is the builder on our approved list? We want the builder to be approved, properly licensed, insured. They know how to make 90-degree angles. It's our collateral, it's their home. So we go through that and then just set expectations of the process. Once the loan's up and running, from the bank side, it's a line of credit because you only pay as you draw. So if you get a $500,000 loan from the borrower side, I've got a loan, but I owe nothing because the equity was in the land that they owned. So they could open up a construction loan with no money out of pocket if they own the land already. And then as the draws come in, there's typically 5 draws, then that balance is just added, and it's an interest-only payment as that construction line is used up to completion. The neat thing, we don't charge points on our loans. Some builders or lenders will charge origination fees because you may open up that line of credit for $500,000 and the bank has set aside the money, but they're not earning any interest off of you, because that first draw may not come for 60 days or 90 days, but they've made that financial commitment. So some lenders will charge points at 1% of the loan amount, let's say. So that'd be $5,000, just so they made some money off of you until you start paying them interest.
Until you start doing the draws,
so, and not to say that we're the only ones that don't, but we do not charge points. We just charge, title, appraisal, the normal title fees and all those kind of things. But set those expectations with borrowers, determine the draw schedule. Probably 90% of builders are on a 5-draw schedule. Some builders, some smaller builders may want 7 draws. And what that does is, instead of that builder waiting 6 weeks to get paid, or every 2 months, or whatever their draw schedule is, they can take a few more draws sooner so that they're not carrying labor and material costs. So you kind of break it up. The banks don't care, but it does increase the cost to the borrower because you have to have one more appraisal inspection, you have to have title updates, lien waivers, a lot of the stuff that the customers don't see or feel, but it's work that goes on to make sure that the property's being built compliantly. So it can be cool.
Yeah. Well,
I think it's fascinating, but I think it's fascinating, and I think most people are just probably go, huh? What? Until they actually need it, until they're in the thick of it, and they're like, oh man, I want to build something, and they're like, boy, I need to get educated, but no one thinks to get educated about it beforehand. I think it's fascinating.
They don't. If someone wants to build, I would say talk with me or somebody, maybe 4 months out, 6 months out, just so you can understand the financial landscape and the loan product that you're going to be dealing with. So then you can kind of match that up with what your goals are and make sure it's within your budget, and get the math done correctly.
Absolutely.
And then, because construction's a lot, you're building a dream home, but sometimes they turn into nightmares if you're not prepared or your expectations are not realistic because of AI and Googling. So dealing with somebody that knows what they've been doing and have done a bunch of them will help you avoid some of those pitfalls and those traps that become a surprise that you don't want to surprise when you're building.
Yeah, no. Absolutely.
So.
Most people don't.
No.
Yeah. Oh, is it noon?
It's noon on Wednesday. There's the tornado sirens.
But I thought it was neat though that you said that you might be able to get a construction loan with no money out of pocket up front.
Yeah, if you own the land.
So
that's really cool.
So let's talk about land. Land's, and this is common bank to bank. Lot loans and construction loans are specific to that lender, that bank. So if there's 50 banks, they're all going to have their own little rules.
That was nice and loud hitting your watch against the microphone there. Had to ruin the conversation.
I was doing so well. So at Buckeye State Bank, if the land is improved, it's got utilities, it's got a drive, we try to ethically, legally justify it as improved land. It's 25% down. So if you buy a $100,000 piece of dirt, it's 25 grand down, you owe 75,000. If it's just raw land in the middle of nowhere, there's been no improvement, just trees and birds and deer, it's 35% down. But once you buy the land, if you own the land longer than a year, 12 months from date of purchase, you can then use the appraised value of the land. So if you bought the land for 100, but the next year it's worth 110 or 120, you've manufactured some equity in it, plus your down payment, and all that is part of the equity in that property. We do have people that use home equity lines of credit. We've got great home equity products. But they will use a home equity line of credit that they can buy the lot with no closing costs relatively to the bank, but they buy it for cash because they've used equity in their current home that they're going to sell and transferred that equity into the land. So now the land's free and clear, but the debt's on the house. So someday they can sell that house and that debt has been settled.
So you're just taking the equity out of the house.
If they do that, or some people are blessed to be able to write a check for their lot purchase. Well, that lot, that value is part of the down payment. So if you're going to do just simple math, $1 million home, I know it's a crazy number, but $1 million home.
It's not crazy at all anymore.
A construction loan is 20% down, let's say, so that would be 200 grand. Well, if the lot's worth 200 grand or it's worth 150, theoretically you could get in maybe a little bit more cash. But you can get in, depending on lot value and build cost, the vertical piece, get in with no money out of pocket, other than the appraisal. So it just depends. But that's part of the conversations of you want to buy the land. How soon are you going to build? Well, 6 months. Okay, that's fine. Or I'm going to build in 5 years. Fine. And then you can start to project maybe what that land may be worth, and you're only speculating. But that is manufacturing equity that can be used as part of your down payment on the construction.
Very cool.
That's incredible.
Lots of options. Yeah.
I was going to say, we need to have our buyers have a nice little meeting with Mr. Anderson over here.
I tried.
But this is not Mr. Anderson.
This is another Mr. Anderson. He's Mr. Anderson. The other one is Mr. Anderson.
That's how I tell the two of you.
Oh boy.
But anyhow. Well, thanks for joining us today. Let people know how they can get a hold of you.
Buckeye State Bank, my cell number, I guess, which everybody uses, 614-832-7242. Email address is eanderson@joinbsb.com. It's joinbsb, joinbuckeyestatebank.com. And I'm happy to answer questions, Doesn't mean we have to do a loan today, it just means someone's searching for some experience and some knowledge. And then if we get together sometime down the road to do a loan, that's great. So just happy
Stop
to
by
help
the
out.
branch too. Check it out. It's just east
Appreciate
of the
that.
Columbus Zoo off Powell Road. It's on the south side of the road there. It's very cool.
Thank
He
you.
may or may not be there. He might be at one of his mini chamber or other meetings. So.
But on my way home, it's on the left.
Oh, really? All right.
Just saying.
Well, Rick,
They didn't build the bank for you.
sounds good.
But thanks for joining us.
Well, thanks for inviting me.
We always like seeing you. So
I appreciate
we don't
it.
see you enough lately.
Fun to see you guys.
But thanks for joining us today, and always make sure to like, follow.
Comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell at Shannon Grimm Realtor and at 614 Real Estate Nerds.